¿Qué tal, Bernardo? How are you this morning?
Welcome to the Prado Museum. We're here again with our weekly session in English, a project sponsored by American Friends at the Prado Museum, and we always thank all of our supporters and all of those of the Amigos del Museo del Prado also. Today, I am very pleased to be here with Alejandro Vergara, longtime curator for the Prado Museum, and now you have a really new project.
Yes, good morning, Cristina. Good morning to all of you. The reason why we're doing this today is because we launched a new channel in the Prado's channel, or set of channels and web content. And the channel is called Pensar el Prado, which means something like thinking about the Prado. And it's about kind of high-end learning made in a way that we hope it's fun. And we're doing this today because we launched our two first videos, about half an hour each, both in English. They have Spanish subtitles, but they were both in English. One is a conversation. Let's get closer to these paintings.
With these beautiful paintings in the wonderful place where we are today.
Incredible, I know. So one of them is a conversation, a half an hour conversation with Robin Lane Fox, professor at Oxford, many titles, author of books on Alexander the Great. I especially like An Epic History of Ancient Greece and Rome. With him, we spent half an hour in the museum talking about the pervasive influence of antiquity on these paintings, and also how the Renaissance and the Baroque periods in Europe kind of misunderstood antiquity. So the difference between what they thought ancient culture was and what it actually was. One of the things we mentioned was Philostratus' images and how that book describes paintings that are not known, and Renaissance artists such as Titian in the 1520s turns that description into an image. So it's really interesting, playful relationship with antiquity. There's a description of an unknown painting, and a Renaissance painter turns that description into an actual painting.
No, it's a fascinating conversation where he's talking about how what they think they know about antiquity at the time and how they're reinterpreting it.
Exactly.
But since then we've learned much more as well.
And he's also fun, engaging. One thing that I really like about how these two videos turned out, I'll mention the second one in a minute, is how we're enjoying ourselves. And you know, this idea that learning, going from not knowing to knowing, is a fun thing to do.
Oh yeah,
Aristotle talks about that. So the second video is a conversation of about 30 minutes, again, with the philosopher Alba Noe from the University of California at Berkeley. And he's written a lot about aesthetics and other subjects. I think philosophy means to me asking questions, standing in front of whatever it may be, in this case art, and asking questions. And with Alba, what we talked about mainly was this idea of what does one learn, what happens when one goes from not knowing something to knowing about art. And that path, that walk, that time that it takes, that's an aesthetic experience. He defines it at least that way. So we spoke about the kind of knowledge that art brings to life, in what way it's similar, in what way it's different from philosophy, that kind of thing. We have another video that we just recorded, but it's not posted yet, but it will be soon, which is a conversation with Salman Rushdie. That took place a few days ago, and with him what I spoke about was the similarities and differences between literature and the art of painting. Other things as well, but mainly that. And again, I think all three conversations are about deep, high learning, but also they're exciting and they're fun, just because we seem to be enjoying ourselves.
And they're accessible.
And they're accessible, of course, Should we try to help people see how to find this?
There's two things I want to say. One is that we're in front of these beautiful paintings by Titian that are part of a large, its own origin is the Alabaster Camerino in Ferrara, and they're trying to recreate the painting of antiquity, like you said so. And so I love these paintings, so I always want to
They're amazing.
Draw attention to them. And
these are among the most prized paintings in Renaissance Italy. I mean, they come to Madrid as a gift to King Philip IV about 100 years after they were painted, and they're just very, very revered from early on, not only by us now.
Okay, and then I wanted to show how we can get in, but I'm having difficulty a second.
So Cristina is going to show Bernardo. I think Cristina's going to try to show us. Do you want me to hold the camera and you want to do it, or does that not work? Maybe, I'm not sure. Okay, let me see if I can do this.
Let's try.
What we would like you all to do is to enter the Prado webpage, and within it you're going to see a lot of web content Among that content are different channels. One of them is called Pensar el Prado, which in English means something like thinking about the Prado. There are others as well. You can also enter through Google or through YouTube, and you can find in YouTube Pensar el Prado, that channel. And again, remember that the first 3 videos of that channel, 2 posted, 1 will be posted very soon. The first 3 channels are all in English with Spanish subtitles, but in English. In the future, we'll make about 8 or 10 videos a year probably. Some will be in English, some in Spanish. The ones in Spanish will have English subtitles also, so we'll be able
That's
to
great.
see them. And I've turned into the cameraman here. And here's Bernardo, who will do this way better than I will.
Thank you.
Okay.
So how everyone will enter, you can also write Canal Prado, but we can go here and you go Prado channel in English, and if it's in Spanish, it's Canal Prado. And here's kind of a menu. And what we're talking about here is called Thinking About the Prado or Pensar el Prado. And you just, even though you just click on them and they are conversations in English.
And the name will be, I mean, we're just starting this. We only have 2 videos. But the name of the channel, I think, will be Pensar el Prado, which is a little bit more philosophical than thinking about the Prado. It's more something like that, but we'll call it Pensar el Prado in English. And again, it's an invitation to do something that museums have a vocation to do, which is to teach and to learn.
And it's open to everyone, everyone who's on internet.
Of course, yeah, open content.
Like everything.
You know, one of the most, again, Aristotle mentions this, one of our natural qualities is to enjoy learning, and that's how we can prosper. And learning about art is what we're supposed to be about in the Prado. And going back to the conversation with Alba Noe, he has, the way he explained things is you walk into a museum such as this one, and you see a group of paintings, but you don't know what to make of them. You don't have any references. I guess you have one basic reference to begin with, and this is the beginning of learning. They're at the Prado, so they must be important. You know one thing. Then if I start telling you when they're from, they're made in Italy around 15 to 1600, that may mean something or not. If I tell you Italy is where most great art was made at the time, that means a little more. So that whole path, this idea of learning, that's really what we talked about with Alba and what his writing is about, which I really recommend.
So thank you so much for doing this and for sharing it with everyone and organizing this channel and organizing this program, Alejandro. We appreciate it because we all love learning about the Prado.
It's great fun, great fun. Thank you, Cristina.
Thank you, and we'll see you again next week.